welcome to A Problem Squared, the podcast which is a bit like a children's TV show, in that it's fun, slightly educational, and has little to no budget. I'm one of your hosts, Beck Hill.
That's so true.
And I once hosted a children's TV show which was so controversial the entire channel got cancelled.
That's true. That's a fact.
Well, it's partially...
Those things happened in that order.
Partially true. I like to think Bakeaway Takeaway was just so good that they were like, well, let's quit while we're ahead.
Children's TV is over.
Yeah, let's close down all of CITV.
I'm curious to know if you found the children's TV show I did a spot on.
Is it bite-sized or whatever they call it, the educational
Not BBC
one?
Bite-sized.
Oh.
In fact, I couldn't say the name with absolute certainty, but let's get there and then I'll let you know.
Okay. And I'm joined by your other host, who you could hear just then.
Thank you.
Former high school maths teacher, Matt Parker, whose YouTube videos are so good they're routinely used in high school to teach maths instead of the teachers. So in a way, Matt, you have franchised yourself.
I have franchised myself.
I think if we had a TV show, we'd need like a puppet sidekick.
Oh.
Yeah, I was trying to work out. I think it would
Like
be
in-
like a calculator.
Oh, like a calculator.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on board now.
And then I decided that its name would have to be something you could spell
on the
in
calculator.
six segment digits upside down. So these are the name options for our puppet sidekick. It would be Zoe,
Okay, yep.
Bob or Bobby with an IE, Shelley with an IE again, Bish, short for Bisha.
Ooh, Bish.
My personal favorite, Gleb.
Gleb. Okay, up until then I was on Shelley, but now I'm Gleb.
But then
Team Gleb.
I think also this would be fitting for us as the host, Ozzy with an IE or just Oz for short.
Aussie the calculator.
Yeah.
I was going to say Shelley because it's like a terminal shell where you can do
Oh,
calculations. But Gleb is the clear winner.
Because I was like, oh, I can spell Glenn. No, wait, no, I can't. I can spell Gleb.
Gleb is just the name of a calculator.
Yeah. So maybe Gleb.
Gleb's
I'll make Gleb. On this episode,
I've worked out how often the hands of time align.
I've found out what the longest one-syllable word is.
And my goodness, have we got some AAAOOOBBBBBBBB, which is a long one-syllable word.
It's not really long
It's
at all.
also any other business.
It's very short.
Not the way I say it.
AAAOOOBBBBBB.
It was called something like How to Be Epic. Or it might have been How
the
to Be
kids'
The kids' TV show, yeah. I popped up and did a segment on how to tie your shoelaces because I got that stupid way of tying my shoes. Where did I like that? Where you tie them super fast.
Yeah. Do you do it like the two bunny ears that wrap around each other?
Nah. Have you not seen my shoe tying?
I feel like I have, but now
feel
I
like
want
you
you to
have.
show me again.
Wow.
This can't be the
This
immediate
can't be
chat.
this is not the beginning of
This should be the post-sting chat.
Yeah.
But now that this is post-sting chat, tie up a shoe. Oh, no, you're wearing slippers.
I'm wearing my business slippers.
To be continued, guys.
Yeah.
That's like the admin kimono that my friend wears, which is just his
There you
dressing
go.
gown.
Perfect.
Matt, how are you?
I'm good. I'm back after a lot of traveling. However, I'm not here for chat today.
What?
I'm here for vindication.
Oh, okay.
Because, Beck, as you all know, I was in a car driving through the state of Illinois. Yeah, you know.
I know.
Yeah,
where this is
let me
going.
tell the story and you
Yeah.
can sit there in shame until I get to the right point. So this was on a filming trip. This is after New York, after we'd been to the rainforest. We're doing some filming in Chicago and St. Louis. We were driving up the America Highway. I was driving, and Alex, my camera person, was in the passenger seat, and video producer Nicole, was in the back, and Nicole was running the music. She was current DJ, and she put on a song by a band called Confidence Man.
Mhm.
And I said, oh, this is Confidence Man. I'm a big fan of this band. And then I forget if this was Alex or Nicole, then said, oh, Beck just posted about them. And so would you like to describe your post and the situation leading up to it?
I did Latitude Festival.
Great festival.
Shout out to people who saw me and liked me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was walking along after my set later that afternoon and heard some music and was like, what is this?
What is this?
I was with
What are
Gav,
these
my
tunes?
husband, and we were like, this sounds amazing. And we were drawn towards the main stage, and it seems to be a double act, but then there's like also a DJ and a drummer.
Yeah.
They had like these big old shoulder
it's amazing.
pad things and costume changes and everything. It was incredible. The performance factor was amazing, but the music was incredibly good. Gav and I just solidly danced for the entire set. And every time I was like, every song's a banger. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And I went home and I was thrilled to find that they are just as good, if not better. So I posted on Instagram.
It's good. You should promote bands.
With a little video that I'd recorded saying, saw Confidence Man at Latitude. How has it taken me this long?
Aussie band too.
To discover them, an Aussie band. Can't believe I've gone this long without knowing about Confidence Man.
With no one telling you about them.
No one told. Why did no one
tell me?
You
were very excited
me?
and you're like adding them to your upcoming, now in the past at the time of broadcast DJ set.
I'll play at least one Confidence Man track, 100%.
So I then, when I was no longer driving the vehicle.
Who was driving? You were so mad.
I stepped out. I hate to be stepped outside for a moment.
You just opened the door.
And roll.
The car just drove off into the sunset without you.
Off a cliff, exploded.
R.I.P. Alex and Nicole.
I sent you a message. Oh, I hear you just posted about Confidence Man. The same band that I invited you to go and see with myself and Lucy in 2019 when they were performing in London.
I would have loved that.
And you were like, what? I'm not seeing some boring band.
I didn't say that. I was just like, I don't go to live music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what though? I've seen more live music and booked into more live gigs, which is not much, but comparatively since the pandemic.
Oh, really?
I'm a lot more like, okay, I'm going to try and catch some stuff. Also, I didn't know you as well then. We've known each other for a while, but we were...
Okay, valid. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Matt, looking at you, you don't look like you'd be into cool music.
No. Nope. In fact, I'm nervous making a big deal out of this because I feel like I'm a one-hit wonder in the music recommending business.
Well, because Confidence Man is also great to dance to. And I've taken you out dancing.
It's not.
And it takes a lot to get, and you can dance.
I can throw shapes.
You can throw shapes, but it takes you a while.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not in my comfort zone.
No.
It's not what I do to relax.
Yeah, whereas for me, I'm like...
You were right. Statistically, you were right to say no.
Yeah.
I'm going to some weird band who's playing in a hipster gig in East London. Correct answer. But I feel like I get one unit of vindication.
Yeah.
All this time later.
Yeah, no, you've earned that.
My final music recommendation. So I like to retire at the peak of my game.
Well, look, in fairness to me, I have made countless playlists and been like, when you've been like, I need things to listen to when I'm writing.
You've been very good at recommending.
Or I'll be like, this is the playlist I'm listening to right now. If anyone wants anything to feel upbeat or
I'm
downbeat
just
or
very
whatever.
bad at listening.
Well, there was one where I did it specifically for you, but then eventually I was like, nah, this is for me.
Yeah. You just had a new one that we can put stuff in together.
I did.
And I did a real old person thing. I'm like, I don't know how to add songs to this.
Yeah, there's still only 3 songs in there. And I said to you, if this stays at 3 tracks long.
It won't. But I tried in the moment. I was like, I'm going to do this on my laptop.
On your laptop.
No,
it's so much easier on the app.
I couldn't work it out.
So you've never done a playlist for me.
Correct.
You've given me no other reason to trust your music tastes. I'll tell you what, once we're confident that it's a good playlist, we can make it public to the listeners if they want to hear music that you and I both agree is good.
The intersection of our music Venn diagram.
So I guess in order for it to be something we both like, if we listen to something we're like, not for me, we can take it out of the playlist.
Yep. Deal.
All right. Done.
You're on.
Good.
So how have you been?
I've been great. I've got 2 things.
Oh, 2.
2. One of them is I did an art.
You did an art.
Yes, there's an artist called Sarah Graham. She is based in Hitchen and she's raising money for the Samaritans. And she's this incredible artist. She does this really photorealistic art. And she also does these stencil artworks of Volkswagen camper vans.
Oh, right. Yep.
It's like a fun little thing. And so she did a basic stencil, like to get you started on canvas, and then sent out 100 of them or something to different artists and personalities and stuff. So she's got like Jodie Whittaker and Lee. Keith Lemon, Francis Lee, and including this guy. Dang. And so I did one. I did a little video of how I made it as well. because I'm not like a photorealistic artist. And I've seen some of the other ones people have done and they're so good.
Wow.
But I was like,
definition of good.
got lovely, grasp of color and shading and everything. I've done a very typical Beck one, which has got like pull tabs and light switches and stuff.
That's
so it's going to go up for auction.
Oh, dang.
People can go see it.
Oh, amazing.
It's in Hitchen in late September.
Can we go see it?
The exhibition. And then after that, it'll be online for auction to anyone in the world who wants to.
Wow.
Wants
Own
to
a
bid
Beck
for it.
original.
Yep. The second thing is I went to the Children's Media Conference in Sheffield, obviously pitching our.
Oh, yeah. You mean Gleb.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it's called. You mean Gleb.
Yeah.
No, I was just out there pitching myself as a writer and presenter and whatnot. Two people who weren't related to each other in work or life said to me on 2 separate days, "Oh, Beck Hill, are you the person who did the video about trolls?
Oh,
Who's the
wow.
legal right to trolls?" And I was like, yes, that
Famous
was
YouTuber
me.
Beck Hill.
Yeah, and I'd just been chatting to you recently how I'd like to do more YouTube videos.
I mean, to be fair, I suggest that every time I see you.
You do, and again, I
this
don't
could
believe you.
This could be my 2 from 2. All right.
And it did feel a bit like, okay, I get the message. So yeah, I've decided I'm going to do some more YouTube videos. And one of them is one that this is now a problem for the listeners.
Oh,
that I'm pitching to all of you listeners.
I like the way you're saying this so the listeners can keep you accountable.
Exactly. Oh, well, I'll tell you what I think I might try and do.
Yep.
I think starting next year, my aim is to put it out on the Mondays that a podcast doesn't come out.
Oh my goodness. The off Mondays.
Yeah. Which is very regular.
It's fortnightly.
It's fortnightly. Anyway, I need their help. I need your help, listeners. You're my only hope. I have a jumper, a knitted jumper.
Yeah, this is great.
That I found in a cupboard in a charity shop. The cupboard was for sale. The jumper was not. The jumper was just at the bottom of the cupboard, an otherwise empty cupboard.
It came with the cupboard.
And I picked up the jumper and it didn't have a tag or anything on it. Did have a big hole in it, which I've fixed somewhat. And so I took it to the counter and I said, this jumper is in the bottom of that cupboard. And they went, oh, and they looked at it. And I said, is it for sale? And they said, oh, yeah, $10 or something. And I was like, yeah, sold. Because it's this massive knitted jumper. It's all lots of colors, geometric shapes. It's very 80s. And it says time fun on it.
Time fun.
Time fun. Not time for fun.
No.
Not fun time.
Not fun time.
Time fun. So I've worn that I think I've owned it for about 10 years now. And I mean, years later.
Also months. But.
A friend of a friend sent me a link to a video for a presenter here that went by the name of Mad Lizzie.
Right.
A 90s children's TV presenter.
It was a different time.
In the UK. It was a different time. And she would do aerobics for kids.
Yeah.
So, quite often with like a big teddy, like someone in a big teddy bear costume.
Yeah.
And they sent me a link to some footage of one of the episodes and she's wearing the Time Fun jumper.
Wow.
And I've never seen this jumper ever before. I need the audience's help because I need to know, A, has anyone seen this jumper out in the wild that's not on me or this Mad Lizzie woman?
Has anyone else time fun?
Has anyone owned Time Fun? When did you get it? Where did you get it?
How did you time fun?
How did you time fun? Or if anyone has any links or connections to someone who made this TV show or Mad Lizzie herself.
What was the name of the TV show?
It's called Lizzie Webb. I'm guessing is Mad Lizzie.
That's time fun. Yeah.
And Joggy Bear.
Joggy Bear.
Yeah, who's Gleb?
Who's the bear that's jogging?
Yeah.
Bear Gleb.
Joggy, as
like
in.
Joggy.
Yeah. Do you know who Joggy Bear, who played, was it always the same person? Any information you have that I could then put into a big investigative video.
What's very funny for me
great.
is this is not the first time you've talked to me about this jumper.
Oh, no.
You've shown me the jumper. We've talked about this. Like, this is something that's been on your mind for a while.
Yeah.
And I think our listeners, our problem-solving listeners, are the ones who can bring us some closure.
Yeah. Our first problem is for you, Matt.
Excellent.
From Recorder Player. Or one word.
Real name.
And they said, what times do the hands on a clock line up so as to make a straight line?
So good.
So I'm guessing like
pleasing.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call them line minutes. I like that.
Let's.
We could find them all by grabbing a clock and messing with it. But isn't there another way that would be more fun?
Oh.
As someone who likes to do things practically, I would say no.
No, get the clock.
Yeah, get the clock.
I meant to bring a clock in. As I said, I totally forgot to grab a clock from home.
Oh, no.
But this is an audio format, so we're going to make it work without.
That's true.
And actually, I assume everyone's familiar with the notions of hands on a clock. I assume kids these days still use analog rotational hand clocks.
The sorts of kids that listen to this podcast absolutely
100%.
understand.
Very good.
That said,
Yep.
I thought this was very simple,
Oh, okay. Yep. Good.
but Recorder Player also pointed out that it's not.
What's your instinct? How many line minutes?
Well, like, because instinctively you'd think, well, there's got to be like one an hour.
Yeah.
I want to go like, oh, 12:30
12:30.
would be one, but
Yeah.
Recorder Player said
Yeah.
no.
No, 12:30 wouldn't be because like 6 o'clock works because the hour hand is pointing straight down at 6.
Mm.
This is exactly on the hour. And the minute hand is pointing straight up at 12 or 0
Yeah.
because it's exactly on the hour.
Mm.
Now, you think, well, the thing's going to happen later on at 12:30, but 12:30, the hour hand will be halfway between the 12 and the 1
Yeah.
because it's half past, which means straight down is not
No.
not the opposite direction.
So between the 12 and the 1 means it would have to be between the 30 and the 35.
Yeah.
And so then it would have to be like 12, 32 and a half.
And a bit, yeah. Well, every time you move it around a bit more, the minute hand's going to move.
Yeah.
But there will be a point because, importantly, the
Oh, yeah, because
minute
once it
hand-
reaches 12:30, then it's not going to be between the 12 and the 1. It'll be slightly past that,
Yes.
which means, and it's
So
like you're having to
at
halve it again and
some
again and
point-
again.
But because you know it starts too far on one side, and at some point in the future, it must be too far the other way.
Yeah. Because when you watch a time lapse of a clock
Oh, yeah.
where the
Time passing.
Is this time fun?
It is
this
time
is-
fun.
Wait,
This is time fun.
is it going to be the same amount of times that the two hands are on top of each other?
Yes. When I saw this.
Did I do a smart?
You did a smart.
Yes.
Well, I saw this and went, oh, I know there's a famous puzzle, which is the same situation, but how often do the hands cross? And I was like,
Because it's going to get to an optimal amount and then come back around again, isn't it? No,
Define
I've
optimal
undone
amount.
my smart.
no, you get to keep that smart. No one can take it away. So let's go back to your idea of 1 an hour. So if you think about it, the minute hand has to constantly lap the hour hand.
Mm.
And every time the minute hand does a lap, the hour hand's moved a bit, but at some point it's going to pass it again.
Mm.
So at some point it must have been directly opposite because it's got to get from one side to the other side.
Yeah.
If you want to get technical, there's a thing called the intermediate value theorem,
Ooh.
which means if you start in one position and you end up in another position and you do it continuously, so no teleporting, no messing around, you must have gone through every point in between.
Oh, is this like talking about finding the way to cut down the middle of a sandwich?
The ham sandwich theorem uses the intermediate value theorem.
Yes.
You're on it.
Two
Well
smarts
done.
in one episode.
You're about to announce your retirement, but
Yeah.
there's more to do. It doesn't happen 12 times in 12 hours. It
Okay.
actually happens 11 times.
Because is it a fence post thing?
It's a fence post thing. Yeah.
3 smarts and I'm out of here.
So it's a fence post thing because the beginning and the end of the fence is
Yeah.
the same post because it's a circle.
Mm.
So it should be 12, but the end one
Yeah.
is 6 o'clock again, the beginning one.
I've actually made a new flip chart
Yep.
called This Page is the First and Also the Last.
Oh, that's great.
Because as
And
you know,
it
my flip
gives
charts
all
are
the way out.
spiral,
Yep.
spiral flip charts. And it's rhyming. So it's like a poem. So it's like, this page is the first and also the last. This page is slow. This page is fast.
love it.
But it means that it's actually got an odd number of rhymes because the penultimate line has to then
Has to
rhyme
get you
with the
back
first
to
one
where
again.
you started. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very nice.
which is it both feels great at the time, but if you were to look at it, you'd be like, oh, but it's not even.
Well, that's exactly what's happening here. It should be 12, but it's not.
Mm.
But also, if you think about it, it can't be 12. So here's the thing. Time moves forward at a very standard rate. Doesn't speed up, doesn't slow down if you ignore relativity and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I was going
Like
to
a
say.
regular
No, if you live in
clock,
my brain.
moving at not a large percentage of the speed of light. Time on a standard clock moves at a set rate,
Mm.
which means the crossing points, because both hands are moving at fixed rates, they don't change. the crossing points should be equally spaced because everything's moving at a nice constant rate. And so they should be happening at regular intervals.
Okay. The cross points of the hands.
Yeah, when they're line minutes, when they become line minutes.
When they become line minutes.
Yeah, because it's always going to be this from one to the next one is always the same movement and the speed never changes.
So it's the same amount of time. So it's going to be but it's got to be more than something so that it's moving forward.
Correct. So if it was 12,
more than a limit.
If there was 12 of them in 12 hours, there'd be one every hour. They'd always be in the same position.
Yes.
Whereas it kind of rolls through the hour.
Yeah.
And so it can't be 12 in an hour because if they were equally spaced, it would never move, which is why there's another reason using completely different logic where you can deduce there must be 11 in a 12-hour period because you need to be slightly bigger than an hour for it to roll.
Yeah.
To roll through. And that actually answers the question for us. It's 12 hours divided by 11. It's 12 elevenths of an hour is the time between crossing points. So it's every 1 hour and, what's 60 divided by 11?
Hang on. Wait. You'll be faster, but I'll get it.
Yeah.
6 and then 6.66. No, it's not it.
5.45.
I was trying to go the other way.
That's why we have gleb.
That's why we have gleb. You know the other name I came up with for a character, but it felt too cool for a kid's...
No, for a kid's TV
and it wouldn't work on the calculator, is Max Threshold.
Max Threshold?
Yeah.
You're right.
That's the superhero cartoon that plays in between.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, we never see Max Threshold and gleb in the same room at the same time.
Twist.
So, 5 minutes and 27 seconds. And that kind of makes sense because if you think about the 6 o'clock one, by the time you get to 7 o'clock, the hour hand's moved around to 7. And so to line up, the minute hand has to go another 5 minutes. But, it's moved slightly.
Yeah.
So you're like, it is 5 minutes and a bit.
Yeah.
And all those bits, eventually it lines up 5 minutes and 27 seconds later.
It's the same reason that I find things like 60 divided by 11 or whatever difficult because let's say you wanted to do... 11's
60 on 11 is the worst.
Yeah. But let's do I don't know, if you were saying, what's 7 times 13?
Yeah.
The way that my brain goes is that's close to 10. So 7 times 10 is 70. And then I'm like, 7 times 3 is 21. And then I'm like, okay, 91.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
But my first instinct, if I'm under pressure, I'd be like 70, and it doing that second part of the thing in my head.
Without forget the first part.
Yeah, so then I'd be like, it's got to be more than 70 because it's more than 10. So it's 3 more each time. It's taking me further and further away. So it feels very similar to that. I'm not putting it into words. There's some listeners out there who are wired like me who are like, I get it.
Oh, yeah,
That's how I feel.
get it. I had the same thought. I was like, it's 12 elevenths. And I was like, what's 11th of an hour? And I was like, 60 divided by 10 is 6.
Yeah.
And 11's bigger. So if you're buying something bigger, the answer has to be smaller. So I'm like, it's something a bit under 6. And I was like, that makes sense because from my previous logic, it's something a bit bigger than 5.
Yeah.
By looking at the minutes. And I was like, it's in there somewhere. Turns out roughly halfway in between. So yeah, so that's the answer to the question 11 times. And it's interesting because I think you can deduce that answer more than one way, which is a great part of maths.
Is 6.6 11% of 60?
Is 6.6? Yes, it is.
That's what I did. I worked out the percentage.
Well done. Well done for providing your own answer.
This whole time I was like, I don't understand why it didn't work.
There you go. 2 things to add to this though. What's weird about the fence post problem in this circular nature is because you get 11 every 12 hours, it means in a 24-hour period, there'd be 22 of them.
Hang on. Say that again.
If you waited for 24 hours, you would have 22 of them. Is that correct?
Oh, right. Instead of 23.
You'd have 21 because there's another fence post in the middle, isn't there?
Oh, triple fence post.
Yeah. But if you had a 24-hour clock, you'd have 23 of them.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about 24
No, but you lose 2 of them just by changing how you're measuring time.
Yeah.
This is time fun.
I'm just excited to have grasped what you're explaining.
I think, you were all over it.
Well, I'm going to give that a ding, 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 ding.
Hey, nice.
Ding, 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 ding.
I was going to say ding and time both have I as a vowel in the second spot of a 4-letter word.
Yeah, I think mine's better. Also, I only did half past. You know that about the clock chimes, right?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
okay with a half past ding. That's fine.
Half past ding.
Ding fun.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe what happened on the problem posing page.
What?
Cody of all people.
Not coding, Cody.
Cody.
Unless we get the answer right, in which case it's coding.
Coding.
Yeah, great.
Cody said, problem, what is the longest one-syllable word?
Mm.
In addition, they'd like to know, is there a limit to how long a one-syllable word can be and still be plausibly pronounceable? And then as a bonus, like we were going to not do this, they give us permission to try and create the longest one-syllable made-up word.
Great.
Well,
great.
duh.
Well, there you go. Done.
Done. So, you've had a go at this?
Yes. And by had a go, I Googled.
Well done. Excellent. This podcast is basically skipping the step of people having to look stuff up themselves.
Oh, yeah. I think we should call the show I Googled it for you.
Yeah. There you go.
Which there's nothing wrong with.
Nothing wrong. It's handy.
The
We're
amount of
saving people
times
time.
I've wanted something but not quite bothered
to look it up.
But
we look up a lot of stuff and we only report back on the interesting ones.
Yes.
So I feel like we're also, curating
Yeah,
what people
exactly.
could have Googled.
Yeah. And according to GuinnessWorldRecords.com,
Oh, here we go. Those
The-
people.
longest one-syllable word, English word, I should say. I haven't
By
looked it up in other
longest,
languages.
Is it the number of letters?
Number of letters.
Okay. Not
You
how
think
long it takes you to say
pronunciation.
it.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh.
that would depend on. Yeah, exactly. Scraunched.
Scraunched.
Great word.
What
hey?
does that mean?
Like scraunched, like
You
a.
scrunch something up.
Yeah. Is it not?
Scraunch.
No, now, see, I always doubt myself. Ever since you were right about confidence, man.
You're about to say you've lost all
I've
confidence.
lost all confidence in myself.
Man.
The definition is literally one word,
Yeah.
crunch.
Oh. Can you use it in a sentence?
I scraunched the leaves under my feet.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
Oh, I didn't say a poetic sentence, but well done.
Mate, you've got a writer.
And
I've got to do
who
something.
scraunched- No wonder you went to the Children's Literature Festival.
Make a crushing noise.
So
It was the Children's Media Conference, thank
sorry,
you.
media conference.
So scraunched,
Scraunched.
10 letters long.
Scraunched.
The other word, but it is an archaic word, is strengthed.
Strength. Is it a version of strengthened?
Yeah, but we don't use it
Strength.
now.
Wow. You wouldn't have been able to scraunch that if I'd strengthed it. Scraunched.
Scraunched.
Huh.
It feels too short to be the longest word, but it just takes a lot of letters.
Also, I'm just wondering how we define that's definitely one syllable.
Because it is a little bit.
Scraunched.
Like if you were doing it in charades, you wouldn't go 2 syllables.
Scraunched. No, you're right. You say one syllable.
Yeah. Because how would you break it
Crunchy.
up into 2?
Scraunched. Now I'm
It's
questioning.
like minced.
What is
You wouldn't say
language?
minced is 2 syllables.
What is a syllable? There must be a definition of a syllable.
I was, in terms of making up a word,
Oh, yeah.
was to quote Laura Davies, which is
Oh, yeah.
she's a fantastic
Aussie comic.
comedian. She's amazing. If you didn't have a chance to catch her at Edinburgh Fringe, she's probably still in the UK at the moment. Yeah, she has a great joke where she says that the way that Australians say shark, you can tell
Oh, yes. I
how
know
big
joke.
the shark is
yeah.
by how many A's
How
they
many
put
A's
in
are
it. So if you're like, oh, I saw a shark, you'd be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But if you go, oh, I saw a shark.
Oh, shark.
Yeah, it's a really
That's a
big shark. So I feel like the longest one-syllable word should be shark.
Is the biggest shark in the world, right?
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
It's a megalodon word.
Yeah. And that would just be as many A's as you think is right for that
Right,
massive
for that
shark.
specific shark.
Yeah. But maybe we should come up with a different one. I think it would be something that's got, like trough. Something that's got like a GH
yes.
that doesn't feel like it's necessary.
Is there another bit in the English language? Because off is a famous, very long way of spelling something the Americans have shortened to just an F.
Yeah.
Donut.
Well, just to give us some ideas,
Tough.
9-letter monosyllabic words are scratched, screeched, scrounged, all starting with S.
Scrounged,
Actually, they all start with S.
Huh.
Scratched, screeched, scrounged, squelched,
Squelch.
straights, and strengths.
Is it because S just blends into whatever's next?
I guess S lends itself more to going into one syllable. I think an SH is always good.
Yeah. Maybe there's something like
But I guess because a lot of them also were
Stuff.
C and R or a T and an R. Like
about-
it's
what if we spelt scruff with OUGH instead of the F's?
scruff,
Yeah.
as in by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah.
SC, how would you spell it?
SCRUOUGH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, well, drafts, which is a real word, has 8.
Oh, dang.
So if we did
Drafts. There's a silent P on the front. Did I mention that?
Shafts.
There's a silent. It's spelled P-S.
What about straubs?
Straubs.
But it's S-
from the previous episode.
Yeah.
How are you spelling straubs?
STROU
Yeah. Yeah. O. Yeah. R. Yeah. Yeah.
ES.
Straubs. Yeah, mate. You're having it. I'm on board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 letters. I declare that.
I mean, we have to decide what it is. Do you know what? I think it's a straub on its own
Yeah.
is a ton of strawberries.
That's 1 metric Wimbledon of strawberries.
Yeah, so 33 straubs.
Straubs is 33 tons of strawberries.
Yeah.
That's good. A metric straub. I thought maybe it's like the worst case scenario of clutching at straws. Yeah, it's clutching at straubs. Not straws, no.
Just,
Worse.
yeah, reaching out.
Straubs.
When all you want is a spoon and you keep grabbing tons
You
of
keep grabbing straubs.
straubs.
Isn't it ironic? 11 letters. Current best.
Wow.
I'm gonna.
That's a lot of strawberries.
Yeah, yeah, it is. So I'm gonna ding.
Thank you.
Spelled DINOUG.
Maybe we could just go with ding.
Ding.
It's like damn.
Ding, girlfriend. So
That's the widest you've ever sounded.
Thank you. Straubs.
It's our
Spout.
great George.
AOUGH. Was that a Homestar Runner reference?
It was.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. Well done you for getting it.
Thank you.
And for the 1% of people listening. Any other business?
First bit of business. People have responded to our request for suggestions for where new listeners should start listening.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm going to recap this with a bit of information. Earlier this year, we hit our first 1 million downloads.
Very exciting.
You did predict that we would hit 2 million by November.
Yep. It's in my diary. Hang on, let me get the exact date.
I want to say it was like the 12th or 16th.
The 7th.
7th.
That's real soon.
Yeah.
August, September, October. 3 months.
Yeah. We are not on course to hit that currently.
You say.
I love your optimism, but
Real
as long as you
optimistic.
keep not pushing us on your YouTube channel.
I literally mentioned us in the most recent video. You're welcome.
I'm thanks.
Their correct response. You did bring this up the other day, and I had a look at the stats to see if we sustained our current rate, when would we hit 2 million? And it is the 15th of January.
Yes. Next year.
Between the 7th and the 15th, depending over what kind of timescale you take the current rate from.
Now, ideally,
Yep.
it'd be nice to get it back to that November one, which means...
Well, I think we're in with a chance. I think if you factor in the acceleration of the rate, the next derivative up, we're in with we've only got to shave 2 months off that to get to November.
But if people want to help us hit that goal,
I'm sure they do.
they're going to have to recommend the show to other. And if you're not a Patreon supporter, which totally no
It's
shame,
fine. Absolutely fine.
absolutely fine, but it would really help us.
If any of you have a YouTube channel,
or just friends,
please mention it.
Any friends?
Oh, just friends, family.
Yeah. So we thought, let's ask you guys what you think is the best episode to start
Where
on.
these people should start. Yes.
Yeah. So we had some great recommendations.
So Hugh said the first.
Yep.
I mean, I think we attract an audience who like to do things properly and in order.
Yeah,
which
I'm
I
one of
fully
those
support.
people.
Exactly.
I tend to go from the
You
first
start from
episode.
the beginning of a thing. Yeah, I tend to dive in the middle somewhere, catch up, and then then fill in the back catalogue.
That's true. I think when I first listened to This American Life, I listened to like one or two recent ones and went, oh, this is good.
I like this. And then you went back
and then I went back to the beginning. And that was when there were only like 500 or so episodes. And since then, there's now like, we've just passed 800 episodes.
Yeah.
Not a million.
So the first episode is a great suggestion. The downside to that suggestion is I think the podcast has changed a lot since the very first episode. Not dramatically.
We've got more of a format now.
Yeah. Not in tone.
No.
Or attitude.
No.
Maybe we've honed the format. On the flip side, we did say hello to all the future listeners who are coming back to start from the first episode.
Yes.
So I think there's a certain niceness, poetic alignment.
It's a
circular clock.
This is the first page and also the last.
That's it.
Steve just said, I nominate the one where Matt went to Antarctica and discussed penguins. That's it.
Wow.
No reason. No
I don't even know what episode that was. That was in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Penguins are pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, literally.
Tristan has explained their logic in great detail. They even start with, hi, Beck and Matt. Very kind of you to say. Hello, Tristan. They've been listening for almost a year now because they got a 20-minute commute. And so they had the same problem because we've been going for longer than a year.
Mm-hmm.
They had to decide where to start. They do have some favorite problems. They enjoyed the 5 Wordle words. Well, don't we all, Tristan? They like the sparkling wine spoon experiment.
I mean, that was a game changer.
That was a whole thing.
We still want to do something
We are
with that.
going to do the follow-on.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find a big enough fridge and enough free sparkling white wine. So they don't know if they have a specific episode they would recommend starting with. Oh, they've got a technique they would recommend because they've been listening to them in reverse order from the most recent one when they started, but they will interrupt going through the back catalogue whenever a new one comes out.
Oh, yeah.
And then skip back to the reverse order.
Okay, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And they've got some pros for doing it in reverse order. The Any Other Business segment now becomes a teaser for the next episode.
True, that's good.
That's nice. They can try and reverse engineer the solutions from what we mention when we give the ding updates.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of fun. It's got the bonus effect of pudding coming back to life.
Just really lovely.
That's nice. It's like that Red Dwarf episode where they go to the reverse.
Null.
Yeah. That's true because they have no idea. There's no mention of pudding. And then suddenly pudding's alive.
Yeah.
That's great. Pudding, by the way, Beck's hamster.
Mm-hmm.
That this podcast is now dedicated to. Oh, and they this is a nice bit of data because we changed music because we had holding music for a while early on.
Until we got our theme tune.
And then we switched to the theme tune.
Mm.
And obviously people like what they're familiar with.
Mm.
And so some people were like, oh, why did you change? I prefer the old music. But they've said it was very jarring going back to the old intro music and they prefer the current one more. That might just be because people will like what they're familiar with.
Yeah, yeah.
But for people listening in reverse order, you would get the old music, which was a discontinued theme from a YouTube segment that I abandoned in the year 2015.
Yeah.
And then we reused it for the podcast in 2019. Wow. So there you go. Tristan, that is a comprehensive and fun strategy.
Yeah, I do like that. That's very nice. We also heard from Jess, who also agrees episode 1.
Another vote for first. Yeah.
They said, as a new listener who discovered a problem squared through my appearance on No Such Thing as a Fish.
Ooh, I'm getting real mixed emotions about that.
Which was quite recent.
It was recent. Welcome aboard, Jess.
Like relatively recent. They've started from episode 1 and literally just caught up to episode 65.
Oh,
065.
Smashed them.
The day it landed. I love that because that's how I do podcasts. Like when I find a new one, I just
bam, bam, bam.
slam through them. Yeah.
That must
Jess
be surreal.
I relate to Jess highly. And so they said, what a coincidence that the first live problem you need help with is the very problem I've recently solved. Starting from the very beginning has to be the best way to understand all the callbacks to previous episodes. Okay. I wouldn't fully appreciate doing a Dexter or have casually started using the term blounge if I'd listened to the podcast in any other order.
I mean, I think we try and make sure people can join at any point.
We try.
But
I mean, we're
never going to cross every I and dot every T.
Yeah. And they said, for your information, while I'm a long-time listener of Fish,
Yeah.
I'm a newly converted supporter of a Problem Squared in the
Yes!
rivalry.
One of us.
Woo-woo!
I remember when I was on No Such Thing as a Fish.
You're trying to reverse engineer this.
Yeah. I'm trying to Mandela effect my way into
great.
fish.
You say this now because then when you are on it in the future, people who are listening in reverse will be very confused.
That'd be great. Time is a circle.
It all comes back to fun time. Time fun.
Time fun.
We also heard from Xavier and Rupert Fluffy Duck,
Yep.
who both had, these are actually problems.
2 of them.
These are problems, but
Yep.
I'm putting them in any other business because they've
They've
already
dealt
been
with.
solved. So Rupert was asking about the game Spot It, which is the same as Double, which is what Xavier was asking about. They wanted to know, how is there one matching symbol on any 2 cards? And I know that you already
I did a whole video about it.
have a video about this.
So this is a great game where you pick 2 cards out of a deck of 55 cards.
Yeah.
You flip them both over, and there's always one and only one symbol in common. And it was the single most requested video for a while on my YouTube channel.
Currently in the UK, as of this record, you can get a little pack in your Happy Meal
You can.
at McDonald's. This isn't an ad.
No, but you
Wish
can.
it was, but I got one and I was
Oh,
thrilled.
how many cards are there in that?
I haven't actually opened it yet. I was meant to bring it here and I forgot.
Oh, next time.
Sorry. Yeah.
Because I want to see, because I've got 2 versions of Double and they conform to a weird pattern based on the mass behind them. So I'm curious to know what's happened with the Happy Meal one. But the
Interesting.
point is, it was super requested. So I did a video about it. It's on my Stand Up Maths YouTube channel at youtube.com. And I'm
Put a
not
link in the
surprised.
show notes
We'll
just in
put that
case.
in the links. Not the letter U, the word U.
Oh gosh. Okay. I was
That's
looking
why
up-
you've got to spell it out.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised we've still got 2 inquiries because I got so many requests to do the video until I did the video.
Mm.
So I'm totally unsurprised there are people who listen to the podcast who don't watch my videos who, of course, are going to ask the same thing because it's such a common problem that people want solved.
Yeah.
But it's a simple solution. Check out YouTube.
Yeah.
We now have some ding confirmations. So we got a big old ding from Jack, who had the Tetris question,
Oh yeah.
how to get good at Tetris. And Beck, you had some pointers, and they've come back to thank you for answering their question. And their friend loved Jarl's solution so much, he has now programmed Tetris into his TI-84 calculator. That's great.
Awesome.
Good calculator. Lots
You-
of weird games with it.
You did extra research.
Well,
after that.
afterwards, I started thinking, well, hang on, how is the competitive Tetris scene these days? Because it's been a long time since I've checked in on it. And specifically, it tends to be the standard version everyone plays is the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System version, is like the canonical one
Okay,
for
yeah.
competitions. And I didn't realize there are still like ongoing discoveries in the world of competitive Tetris on the NES,
Oh.
specifically in how fast you can push the side-to-side buttons, because there's a thing called
Oh,
a
makes
kill
it-
screen,
Yes.
which is where the pieces come down too fast to be able to play anymore.
Mm.
But now people have found ways to move the blocks fast enough that they can survive and keep playing on the quote-unquote kill screen.
I think that's covered in the documentary that I watched
Really?
as well. I believe it sounds familiar.
Did they talk about rolling?
I can't
Because there was a
remember.
phase of hyper tapping was the way to do it.
Yes, the tapping is what I remember.
And then they realized instead of tapping the side to side button, what you can do is hold, like gently press but not quite connect the side to side button.
Oh,
And then you roll your fingers like you're doing.
a bit of ASMR there.
So you can roll your fingers like you're tapping them in succession, but you do that under the pad. And by tapping the controller in a very rapid rolling motion, each time you tap it, because you're holding down the sideways button, it registers as individual
Oh,
presses.
Wow.
So you can press side at an incredibly fast rate for a specific number of times because you just roll different numbers of fingers.
Oh.
And so now you can very precisely and rapidly move pieces side to side. And thanks to this breakthrough, someone for the first time ever was able to play through the 256th level, which doesn't crash like it does on Pac-Man.
Huh.
But what it does do is it crashes the system that chooses the colors for the bricks because they change color each level.
Oh.
And you get a bunch of crashed level weird color palettes because it's taking random data from the memory where it shouldn't be looking for colors, interpreting them as hex colors and displaying them on the screen.
And so you're getting colors you wouldn't normally
Yeah,
get.
all these crazy colors.
Wow.
I think it's only been done in the PAL version because the frame rate's slightly slower.
Mhm.
But because of this rolling method that was only discovered in 2021, people have now managed to play past where the color palette crashes.
Oh my goodness.
It's so cool.
That's very cool.
So Tetris, what a game.
We also got a ton of people send in information about different ways you can play depending on what system you're playing or what year the game came out.
Yeah. Different random number generators for which piece you get next and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and some of a lot of you sent links and stuff. It's really useful, very interesting. Also very hard to discuss at length on the podcast, which is why, and I think we mentioned this in the last one, at some point we're considering...
We'll set up some kind of online community
like a
for
Discord
everyone.
or a Reddit.
Discord or
Let us know if you have a preference. And that way you can share those links with our listeners.
If it exists, it'll be linked below. If not, we'll set it up soon.
Yeah, because it was really, really cool and interesting.
The other ding was someone asking about words that you can spell phonetically with individual letters.
Yes.
Like tedious can just be a T, a D, and an S.
That's right.
And they have said that it was their partner's question, and they played the episode while they were driving together. And we then solved the problem they sent in.
Yay.
What a magical moment. The partner was astounded and absolutely convinced that she and some stranger out there had the exact same fascination with letterals, specifically the two, ODS and TDS. And there's still a joke between them, even after explaining that they had sent in the question. She just thought someone else had asked the same question.
Amazing. Because this person was anonymous and they're still remaining anonymous.
Yep.
So I love that. Yeah. I mean, who knows?
It was Anonymous's partner.
I know because it didn't come up twice in the database and
it's one person.
I've read all the questions in the problem. So yeah.
So they say, thanks for the investigation. Ding.
Yes.
It's been dinged.
It's been dinged. I also wanted to give a shout out to Ian Flower, who posted to say on the cheese twisties and visiting America notes.
Oh, wow. Yep.
A friend from Adelaide, hello,
good old Adelaide,
recently told me that the Trader Joe's baked cheese crunchies are better than the current version of cheese twisties.
What?
Now, when we were in New York, we didn't mention this,
No.
I don't think, but we got the Wegmans, and I'm pretty sure they're called baked cheese crunchies.
I think so.
But they were the white cheddar flavor. They don't look like twisties in terms of color, but we all yummed them up.
Oh, yeah,
they were real tasty. And I've looked it up. Apparently Trader Joe's and Wegmans are very similar.
Oh.
There's a bit of like a rivalry type thing.
Oh, yeah, so it's a knockoff version of a knockoff.
Yeah, something like that.
From our point of view.
From our point of view, yeah, as outsiders. So I'm wondering if Trader Joe's baked cheese crunchies are very similar to the Wegmans ones.
Next time we're in the States.
Well, I mean, someone asked you guys to pick up a pack while you were there.
Oh, yeah, and we didn't.
And you haven't. I was hoping at that point you'd be like, well, Beck, because you know what I brought today on the off chance that you brought them.
Oh, what did you?
I have some twisties.
Ah.
And I was like, we can compare them.
No, I didn't. None.
No.
No.
I mean, they're over a year old, so they're definitely stale.
You can eat the twisties right in front of me.
I do that anyway.
This is what you get from
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks, Ian. We'll at some point we'll compare them in person.
I didn't get And for fans of Closure, the children's TV show I did a few segments on was called How to Be Epic at Everything. There you are, over 10 years ago.
Where can people watch it still?
Nah, long gone. If anyone finds a link to it, let me know. I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist anywhere online. I did a bit on how to solve a Rubik's Cube, how to tie your shoelaces, and I think maybe a third bit. I can't remember what it was. It was very early in my career. You want to see a real young Matt doing TV, How to Be Epic at Everything.
I would love to see that.
The at is like an at symbol.
Right. Oh, yeah.
When it really
cool.
dates the show. Yeah. The use of the word epic.
That's true.
As an at symbol.
It really does, doesn't it? And for anyone who wants closure from the last episode, I looked it up.
Yep.
And goober.
Yep.
I'm definitely mispronouncing that.
The Swedish word for old man.
I think it's like gubb because someone also likened it to gubbin.
Wow.
But basically, that means old man in Swedish. But apparently, originally, it meant little lump.
Oh, you little lump.
So it's like a little lump like a dirt lump.
And so the strawberry is a dirt lump.
Yeah.
Oh, little lump.
They no longer use it to mean little lump. It now just refers to sort of like man. And in every episode of a problem squared. I say every. Actually, we only started doing this at some point.
Depends which order you're listening to the episode.
Yeah, every so far if you're in
Yeah.
reverse. We like to thank 3 of our Patreon supporters at random who are the real reason we can do this.
And continue to do this.
And continue to do this. So we're going to thank 3 of you at random.
Frederick Orville. Frederick Orville. It's 1 syllable.
John Doe or Jahan Doe.
Wow. Athanasius.
Athanasius?
Atan, as I, us. I think we can all agree with that.
And finally, I'm going to thank our producer. Forgot the word producer then.
That's why we have a producer.
I looked at Matt with fear in my eyes. Lauren Armstrong Carter, who is the stage manager of our children's TV show.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, the one that stands on the floor and like with the little headset on.
Yep,
and is
the little
like
clipboard thing.
Yeah, and then like, oh, going live in 3, 2, 1, and then we've got to suddenly stop swearing. Thank you, Lauren Armstrong Carter. Thank you, Matt Parker. Thank you,
Gleb. So, Beck, our new post-credits game. You got to guess how many dice are in this jar.
Okay.
And I've mixed it up. I've added some more. I've moved them around to make it interesting. How many dice do you think are in this jar?
12.
I can say you are incorrect.
You want me? Can I? You just want me to take a wild guess
But what's the other option?
to start with? Well, because I want to sort of count how many forms a
Well,
line.
let's start with a guess.
Okay.
And then next time you can do an informed guess.
Okay. At a guess, 500.
Incorrect.
I mean, if it was bang on 500,
500,
I'd
that'd be real
surprised.
suspicious.
Yeah.
It is not 500.
Okay.
We'll put a photo out, by the way, if people want to guess along. Guess along with Beck.
Are we allowed to have a higher or lower limit?
Ooh, I think yes. Not straight away, but I think I'll start doing highs or lowers. Let's give everyone else a chance to have a go first.
Okay.